New tonight, the race for Delaware's next governor may be a little more crowded. Plus, a controversial building plan at Wilmington Friends School is off the table, and dogs were the hot topic among lawmakers at a local beach. What's been decided about pups on the boardwalk? Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Making headlines today, Delaware-based pharmaceutical company Incyte will not move forward with a plan to expand its headquarters on land that's currently owned by Wilmington Friends School. That's according to company officials that confirmed that today, Tuesday. A company spokeswoman said Incyte did not receive needed zoning variances for the project. Incyte terminated the contract with Wilmington Friends School because the Newcastle County Board of Adjustment denied the necessary approval of variances which were critical to their ability to move forward with the site plan. That was according to a statement. They're exploring other options to buy or build additional space here in Delaware. 4 years ago, Incyte announced it would spend $50 million to purchase 20 acres that is home to the Wilmington Friends Lower School. Plans included a 5-story, 400,000 square foot building. The project was opposed by many neighbors, despite what the company called environmentally friendly construction, with 2 stories of parking beneath the building, a green roof, and sit below the tree line. With the purchase of the property now off the table, so is a plan to build a new lower school at Wilmington Friends. That's according to school officials as part of the statement today. The school will instead renovate the current lower school property. And in other news, Colin O'Mara, former Delaware Secretary of Delaware Natural Resources and Environmental Control and current CEO of the Natural Wildlife Federation, has formed a campaign committee to run for governor. As a resident of Bear, Delaware, despite working out of Washington, D.C. for the past decade, O'Mara faces fellow Democrats, of course, Newcastle County Executive Matt Meyer and Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long in the primary election on September 3rd. In a statement, O'Mara said he would concentrate his administration on improving the 4 E's. What are they? Their economy, education, environment, and equitable access to housing, healthcare, and public safety. O'Mara also serves as board chair of the Mid-Atlantic Clean Hydrogen Hub, a regional nonprofit, was recently chosen by the Biden administration for $750 million in funding to help build out cleaner hydrogen production. As head of DENREC from 2009 to 2014, then the youngest cabinet secretary in the nation at age 29 only, when appointed by then Governor Jack Markell, O'Mara oversaw the creation of a statewide recycling program and the development of the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative to reduce carbon dioxide emissions in the power sector across a dozen states. As CEO of the National Wildlife Federation, the nation's largest conservation organization with 7 million members, O'Mara lobbied for several key environmental pieces of legislation. Prior to leading DENREC, O'Mara served as Economic Development Officer and Clean Tech Strategist for the City of San Jose, California, and as Assistant Budget Director for the City of Syracuse, New York. He graduated from Dartmouth College and Oxford University as a Marshall Scholar. He and his wife, who served as a policy director for First Lady Michelle Obama, have 3 children that attended Appoquinimink schools. And the city of Newark has joined 2 class action lawsuits against manufacturers of so-called forever chemicals. Public water utilities across the country are suing 3M, DuPont, and its subsidiaries for alleged contamination in surface and groundwater systems. Any public water system in the country is eligible to join the lawsuits upon the detection of PFAs, which are these harmful forever chemicals. PFAs have been detected in both groundwater and surface water samples in Newark. That's according to City Manager Tom Coleman. The Newark City Council voted to join the suits in a closed-door session late last month. Construction is underway for treatment at the groundwater plant, and the city plans to begin cleanup and treatment at the surface water plant. Treatments will cost, get this, an estimated $2.5 million annually, and will result in city water rate hikes. Despite the presence of the chemicals, Coleman assures that Newark's water is still safe to drink. Anyone with questions or concerns can contact Newark Public Works and Water Resources at the number there seen on your screen. And in other news, 2 Delaware men have been charged with stealing a vehicle that had a 1-year-old girl inside. We told you about this last week, a crime that led to an Amber Alert last Wednesday. The child was located in a Philadelphia wine and spirits store later that same evening. 42-year-old Randy Purnell of Newcastle and 35-year-old Aaron Douglas of Laurel, Delaware, were being held in Philadelphia. Each faces felony kidnapping, theft of a motor vehicle, conspiracy, and endangering the welfare of a child, of course. The vehicle left running with the girl inside was stolen in the Ogletown area. Newcastle police said the investigation is still active, and anyone with information is asked to call detectives at the number seen on your screen. And Newcastle County Police are investigating an accident this morning on Mill Creek Road that sent a 90-year-old woman to the hospital. The crash seen here, occurred shortly before 9 a.m. near Brackenville Road when a car went off the roadway, as you see here, down an embankment and flipped upside down into a creek bed. It took about a half an hour for Hockessin and Cranston Heights firefighters to remove the victim from the car. They had to use a wire basket stretcher, also known as a Stokes basket, to get her out. She was treated at the scene by Newcastle County paramedics and was taken to Christiana Hospital in stable condition. However, she did suffer from hypothermia. And police in Wilmington have released surveillance footage of a suspect in a murder, again, that we told you about last week, that happened on November 28th in the 200 block of West 20th Street. 39-year-old Quentin Turner was shot to death inside a home around 9 p.m. Detectives were able to obtain the surveillance video, but have not been able to identify the suspect. Anyone with information related to this case or the suspect is asked to contact Delaware Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-TIP-3333. And to state police news now, they're investigating a pair of deadly accidents down in the Seaford area that happened on Sunday, just a couple miles apart from each other. The first one occurred when a car driven by a 74-year-old Seaford woman ran a red light on northbound Route 13 and Middleford Road and collided with a minivan. That woman did die at a local hospital. Several people in the minivan were treated for injuries as well. And then just a few hours later, an 88-year-old man was killed after getting hit by a car on Route 13 at Oaklas Road, just south of Blades, Delaware. Troopers say the victim had gotten out of the minivan that was parked on the shoulder and stepped into an active lane. Police have identified that man as 88-year-old Wayne Jaggers of Laurel. And to Kent County now, where Dover police are investigating a shooting that happened over the weekend at a Wawa on Forest Avenue. Police say it happened around 5:30 in the morning as the victim, a 45-year-old man, was leaving the store and was returning to his vehicle. He told police that he heard gunshots and then he realized that he himself had been hit. He was treated at Bay Health Kent for non-life-threatening injuries. And new developments involving a property owner and the displacement of dozens of residents here in the city of Wilmington. Adolph Picorni, the owner of Adams Street apartment buildings, is facing a growing pile of fines to the lack of repairs that led to the evacuation of numerous residents. City officials have confirmed that additional fines have been imposed on Picorni. Seen here, the total fines have now reached, get this, $33,000, and they continue to accumulate. The Adams Street apartment buildings were declared uninhabitable back in May of 2022, as you may remember. The city said he has just made a few repairs and he will be fined weekly until code violations are corrected. The impact of the situation has been significant, with many forced to evacuate their homes. The displaced individuals have sought refuge at the Newcastle County Hope Center. Some have also found temporary shelter in local motels, while others have relied on the support of family and friends during this challenging time. And the state of Delaware is introducing a new incentive program. It's interesting, to increase recruitment of certified nursing assistants in the workforce. 3 training agencies, including Bayer Professional Institute, Delaware Skills Center, and Sussex Tech will receive up to $3,000 in-state covered tuition per student. Participants commit to 2 years of state employment post-certification, with CNA vacancy rates at an all-time high of 40 to 50%. The initiative aims to alleviate the staffing challenges that are there, offering a $34,000 annual salary, health benefits, retirement plans, and more. If you're looking to apply, visit the State of Delaware Employment website. You can also email the email address on your screen or call that number there, 302-255-9148, if you have questions. And it's looking like Rover is not going to be allowed at the beach again next summer, well, for now anyway. Rehoboth Beach City Commissioners remain undecided on allowing dogs on the boardwalk during the summer, despite a poll that showed nearly 60% resident approval. Two proposals, one suggesting limited hours and the other extending the dog-friendly season, were presented, but they were shelved due to concerns about how are they going to enforce this. Mayor of Rehoboth Stan Mills stressed the need to address enforcement issues before they proceed with this. Until enforceability is resolved, Rehoboth's boardwalks are going to remain dog-free.
Topping the news, the second murder trial for the death of 15-year-old Brandon Wingo ended abruptly in a mistrial this morning. What was expected to be a 2-week trial in a first-degree murder case against DeMonte Taylor ended on just the second day of testimony. The reason? A spokesman for the Department of Justice didn't say, but indications are the DOJ will continue to pursue charges against 26-year-old Taylor. Wingo's death sparked outrage in Wilmington. He was killed as he walked home from school on the Clifford Brown Walk in the middle of the day. Prosecutors said his murder was part of an ongoing feud among Wilmington's teens and related to gang violence. Taylor, who was 18 at the time of the killing, was also charged with assault and gang participation. He was found guilty back in 2018, but that conviction was later overturned by the Delaware State Supreme Court. And dozens of families, educators, and community members attended an informational meeting at Marbrook Elementary School in the Red Clay Consolidated School District last night. They want the district to drop plans to phase out Spanish immersion programs. Last month, the district announced low enrollment and high cost are behind the planned move. Marbrook will phase out its immersion instruction, where students learn a half a day in English and the other half in Spanish. That would leave the district's only Spanish instruction at the William C. Lewis Elementary School in Wilmington. Spanish immersion at Skyline Middle School will also be phased out. Red Clay Administrator Hugh Brumal told the crowd the decision is final. The district will hold a second informational meeting on December 12th at 6 p.m. at the Lewis Elementary School. Parents expressed dismay about the program being disbanded. Some said the fight is not over yet. They called for a protest at the district's next Board of Education meeting on December 20th. In other news, Delaware saw the expansion of online reproductive health care with the launch of a telehealth provider called Hey Jane on Monday. The service is expected to cut down on waiting times for patients. Delaware continues to see increases in females seeking abortions and related health care. Reports indicate since Roe versus Wade was overturned nearly 18 months ago, Delaware has seen the highest jump in legal abortions among states on the East Coast. The right to seek an abortion in Delaware is protected thanks to legislation passed by the Delaware General Assembly in 2017. Hey Jane offers consultations for abortions, emergency contraceptives, birth control, and treatment for female ailments in 20 states. 6 other online providers are also available in Delaware. The Delaware Department of Justice operates 2 abortion legal helplines. You can call the number on your screen for more information. And Delaware State University will double its nursing program. A $1.75 million grant from the Longwood Foundation makes it possible for the students. Because of the current nursing and public health practitioner shortages, the Longwood investment will provide a creation of a second clinical simulation lab at DSU. It will also fund a pilot program for incoming freshmen who are pre-nursing students. The goal is to increase the number of nursing graduates over the next 3 years. Longwood has a history of supporting Del State. In 2020, the foundation helped the university acquire the former Wesley College and its nursing program with a $1 million grant. Well, we knew they were coming. Kent County homeowners are the first to get preliminary reassessment results, and now is the time to request an appeal if you disagree with the findings. For the past 2 years, surveys have been conducted in all 3 counties to establish a new home assessment base. That's the dollar amount the home is valued and taxed. A statewide reassessment hasn't been done in almost 30 years. Your property taxes could remain the same, or be increased, or go lower depending on the evaluation. Informal reviews for any property owner who disagrees with the initial assessed value can be arranged. Those reviews are expected to be completed by mid-February. A request for a review can be made if you contact the number on your screen. There will also be formal appeals processes available for homeowners. Newcastle County and Sussex County reassessments are ongoing. Letters of initial findings are expected to be sent to residents in the second half of the new year. In news from Sussex County, a Frankfort man has been charged with murder following a 4-wheeler crash. Delaware State Police say on November 24th, 2 men were riding a 4-wheeler on Frankfort School Road when they were hit by an SUV and were thrown off. 22-year-old Gabrielle Dorman of Millsboro died at the scene. A 20-year-old man was treated and released from an area hospital for his injuries. 38-year-old Jeremiah Handy from Frankfort was identified as the only person in the SUV at the time. He was charged with murder, attempted murder, and the possession of a deadly weapon during a felony. He was taken to Sussex Correctional Institution on $850,000 cash bail. And this is supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, when many of us fill our homes with holiday cheer. That means the works: trees, garlands, decorations, and strands of lights. Though festive, the National Fire Association is warning homeowners not to unintentionally create a fire hazard in your winter wonderland. They may look pretty, but decking the halls comes with fire risk. Between the years 2017 and 2021, fire departments in the U.S. responded to an average of 150 house fires that began with decorations, and that number excludes Christmas trees. Those fires caused an average of 4 deaths and $14 million in property damage. Lighting equipment was involved in the nearly half of the fires that started by Christmas trees, with lamps or bulbs sparking the blaze. Some Christmas tree fires stem from candle use. To ensure a safe holiday season, the National Fire Protection Association offers several safety tips when it comes to bringing a live tree inside your house. What should you do? Well, for starters, pick a Christmas tree with fresh green needles. Cut 2 inches from the base of the tree trunk. Place the tree in a stand away from heat sources like fireplaces, candles, radiators, and heat vents. Make sure trees do not block an exit. Water your tree daily. Use only indoor lights on your tree. Check lights for loose connections, broken bulbs, or worn cords, and never use lit candles to decorate a Christmas tree. Additional safety tips: use clips instead of nails to hang outdoor lights. Keep garlands and stockings away from open flames of a fireplace, and do not overload power strips, and be extra careful, when using candles. Authorities say 46% of house fires in December are caused by candles. So to be on the safe side, keep a fire extinguisher handy and check all smoke detectors for the holiday season. And Christmas came early for students at the Wilmington Manor Elementary School in the Colonial School District. A company called Accenture partnered with a national nonprofit group called Operation Warm to purchase coats for every child at the school. About 300 coats were on display so the children could pick out the coat of their choice.
It's wonderful. It's just, these kids deserve it, and to just, do a little something to give them the opportunity to to be comfortable this winter is what it's all about.
It means the world to us. When I entered us into the Operation Warm database, my heart was just thinking of the children, thinking of the need for our community, especially around this time with Christmas and it getting cold, and just being able to provide warm coats to all the kids, not just some, but to all the kids. So when we were selected, I was just grateful for them to come here and host this event here at our school and be able to give back to the community.
Volunteers from Accenture and adults at the school made certain the coats were a good fit for each child. The coat giveaway was clearly a hit with the kiddos. Unfortunately, the holidays can also bring sadness and despair. Wilmington City Councilwoman Xanthia Oliver joined community groups today to hand out door knockers about increasing drug addiction awareness. That because statistics show the highest rate of drug overdoses occur during the holiday season. Oliver and a group of volunteers left the door knockers on homes along Market and 23rd Street. Oliver said her goal is to bring awareness to the city's northeast side, which she says has been plagued by opioid epidemics. A need for comprehensive solutions that include treating drug addiction as a public health issue rather than a criminal one is also something she supports, along with preventing overdoses through the distribution of Narcan overdose kits. Partners for today's event included the Hope Commission, Churches Take a Corner, We Are the Moms, and numerous other groups. And finally tonight, Rodney Square was a busy place last night as folks gathered to enjoy holiday festivities. The highlight of the evening was the countdown and the lighting of the city's Christmas tree by none other than Santa Claus and his famous reindeer, Rudolph. The lighting ceremony featured performances by the 28th Army Band, Officer Ryan Jacobs, and special guest speakers, including Mayor Mike Przicki.
We've got so much going on in our city to make you proud. And as your mayor, nothing can make me happier than to get out here and see these beautiful faces and know that we've made our city so healthy for them to grow up in.
Provided free food, hot chocolate, and holiday lanterns. It looks like it was a good time that was had by all.
Making headlines today, Delaware State Police are working to determine exactly when a 42-year-old Pennsylvania man died after being thrown from his car. Just after 4 p.m. on Wednesday, police were called to Lancaster Pike, just west of Hercules Road, after a driver noticed a car off the road. When police arrived, they found the car in a creek and a man nearby. Police said the man was driving on Lancaster Pike when he apparently lost control of the car and ended up in the creek. Police are not sure when the wreck actually happened, saying that it occurred sometime between November 25th and when the call came in on Wednesday. The man's name will be released when family members are notified. In other news, the search is on for a Plummer Community Correction Center inmate who failed to return following an approved work pass. Department of Corrections officials say 25-year-old Mike Paoletti, seen here, did not come back from the work assignment on Wednesday. He was serving time for a hate crime after making death threats and brandishing a machete during an argument with a man at a Wilmington Dart park and ride. He is white, 5'8" tall, with tattoos on both arms. Of course, if you see him, you are asked to contact police. And in other news from Sussex County now, Delaware State Police put 3 men behind bars following an investigation that took several months. On December 5th, a search warrant was executed at a home in Frankfort, Delaware. Take a look here at what police found. A .45 caliber handgun, about 3.19 grams of suspected crack cocaine, more than 79 grams of cocaine, about 180 bags of suspected heroin, 69 doses of ecstasy, along with drug paraphernalia, ammunition, and more than $600 in suspected drug money. Taken into custody were 41-year-old Douglas Wilkerson, 23-year-old Jaheim Curtis, and 51-year-old Daniel Prouse. Police had been to the location where the 3 men were arrested before for assaults, incidents involving firearms, and even fatal overdoses. In other news now, the Warehouse, a Wilmington community center serving teens, which is part of the work group, cut 2 blue ribbons on Wednesday for new spaces designed for area young people. The group partnered with SL24, Unlock the Light Foundation, to open Sean's Room, a mental health support room. The Warehouse partnered with the Mayor William T. McLaughlin Fund to open the MAC, a newly renovated gymnasium. The areas expand the group's offering to teens, says CFO Laura Mood.
This place is so cool. Who wouldn't want to come hang out here? There's programming, there's, the RISE program, there's the MAC. Now we have Sean's Room, a comfortable space to come if you're needing to talk through some things. Just an exciting place to be.
Sean's Room is a space where members age 14 through 24 can speak to qualified peer counselors about their mental health and wellness. It follows in the footsteps of Sean's House, a similar space on the University of Delaware's campus. Both are named after Unlock the Light's co-founder Chris Locke's son Sean, who took his own life back in 2018. The MAC is a ground-up renovation of gymnasiums with a brand new floor, scoreboard, color scheme, televisions, and space for recreation. Young members expressed a desire for both spaces, says Workgroup CEO Logan Herring.
So now we will be able to address at an extra positive level, not just mental health, but also physical health through these 2 new spaces. And so when we talk to our teens, this is what they said they want. And here at the Warehouse is for teens by teens. So what the teens want, the teens get. And today we're able to share it with the broader community.
And speaking of our local youth, the Department of Education named its Educational Support Professional of the Year. Sinead Ronan is a paraprofessional and library specialist at the Magnolia Middle School. The Cesar Rodney School District winner was chosen out of 19 other candidates from districts and charter schools around the first state. The state ESPY winner said, quoting now, that para means beside, and individuals in our school community know that I will walk in their journey beside them. DOE selects one ESPY winner each year, as do school districts and charter schools. On the district level, winners are awarded $2,000 as the State Support Professional of the Year. Ronan won $3,000 for herself and another $5,000 for the educational benefit of her students. A big congratulations to her and, of course, all of the other local winners. In other news now, Valerie Longhurst, Delaware's first female Speaker of Delaware's House of Representatives, may have a contender in the upcoming elections. Kamala Smith is a self-proclaimed regular citizen, says she's thinking about throwing her hat into the ring. Smith said she's exploring a run for the 15th district. Longhurst has served as representative of that district since 2004. Smith is the Director of Education and Care at Christiana Care. And back to police news, Newcastle County Police are sounding the alarm for senior citizens. Here's what's happening. Scammers have been preying on grandparents, claiming to be a grandchild in need of money for bail. Police say they often come up with convincing stories and say that they need the money immediately to avoid serious consequences. The suspects may ask for payment through unconventional methods such as wire transfers or gift cards, and the suspects use a sense of urgency to evoke fear in those. There are ways to protect yourself, however. The advice is, first and foremost, stay calm. And remember, the crooks will use urgency as a form of manipulation. Ask personal questions that only your grandchild would know, and check with a family member to verify the grandchild's situation. When in doubt, call police, and keep in mind legitimate authorities will never demand money in the form of gift cards or wire transfers. And listen up, if you plan to use the Cape May Lewis Ferry this summer, well, you're going to need to dig a little bit deeper in those pockets. Charges will rise slightly according to the size of your vehicle. Those with vehicles that are 25 inches in length will pay an extra $1 one way. Vehicles 25 to 44 inches will cost an extra $2, while those larger than 45 inches will have to pay $3. If you reserve a spot but fail to show up, you'll be charged $26 instead of $10. And if you don't reserve a spot, you're going to pay an extra $2 when you get in line to board. The last time ferry rates went up was in 2022, so not that long ago. According to the Delaware River and Bay Authority, rates generate about $14 million a year, but it costs about $25 million to run the ferry year-round. And a long-shuttered Kmart in Governor Square Shopping Center in Bear may soon be bustling with activity. If two proposals with Newcastle County come to be, a Fun City Adventure Park and Tractor Supply store will fill the empty space. The Kmart along Route 40 has been vacant since back to 2019, when all Kmarts closed by 2020. In March, the indoor amusement park chain Fun City filed an application with Newcastle County. Interior construction began soon after, with coming soon signs going up in November. Previous Fun City locations have included everything from rope courses to bumper cars to laser tag. Looks pretty fun. And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of DETV News. Be sure to like and follow us across your favorite social media platforms. And while you're online, head to our website, detvch.com, for a look of what's happening all around Delaware. With tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend.